What's up, everybody? Welcome back for another video. Today I got some numbers and some thoughts about some things going on in the Sorcery marketplace, as far as I guess some players and some people and collectors would call them buyouts. All of these cards that I'll talk about here in a little bit, all except for one are in stock. So I guess you could technically call one a buyout right now, but this is all just based on TCG player. You do have, the private Facebook groups and the Discord. There's a Discord marketplace where you can buy and sell cards on there. And it's just I have some interesting thoughts. Nothing major. I don't think anything crazy is going on. I don't think anybody's hoarding a bunch of cards, but that can be the case with certain cards here and there. Especially when you are speculating on the market as far as playability, or if this deck gets better, somebody might want to buy a bunch of the foils for some reason. But pretty much most of the cards except for two of them on here are very reasonably priced. All but one of them are all Arthurian Legends cards, and all of them are currently in stock on TCG Player except for one. But I do have some interesting numbers as far as the community numbers throughout the Sorcery groups online. So I think I did these notes a couple days ago, and I'm just now getting a chance to put a video together. But in the official Sorcery Discord, there's 8,420 members. If you go on the official Facebook group for Sorcery, there's only 3,000 members. I probably rounded that up or down. It might be 3,100, I don't know. But there's a 5,420 person difference between those two groups. I thought that was interesting. I was very late to the Discord party. It was actually I wasn't against Discord or anything. I'm really glad I found it because it's a great way, to talk to other, community members, talk about decks, talk about cards, be able to buy and sell cards, with peace of mind. There's reference pages, stuff like that. So Discord is very good. You can do a looking for game for TTS, for Tabletop Simulator. If you're not being able to get in live games as much and you want to practice online, that's always a good thing. All the voice capability of Discord, it's a great service. It's free. There's upgrades and stuff that you can do to get special emotes and stuff, I'm sure. But I thought that was interesting. There's some other unofficial Discord and Facebook groups as well. But the other ones I think are just Facebook groups that I took notes on here. So the Sorcery Community Facebook group, which is led by Mike Servati, it has 4.8 thousand people. The Sorcery TCG Marketplace, I think that is the Facebook one. For some reason on these notes, that might be actually I think that is a Facebook group. There's 4.7 thousand in that. I don't think I did the Discord of the marketplace, so I'll update that in the comments below of how many people are in the Discord marketplace. There's a buy, sell, trade Sorcery Facebook group that has only 2,000 members. And then there's another Sorcery marketplace that has 4.2 thousand members. So I think those numbers are, pretty interesting. Like the main Discord is 8,420, like I said, and everything under that, the closest one is Mike's with Collector Art House at 4.8. So I know he does a lot of great work for the game, and it's collector based as well. But, what I've kind of been, preaching in some of my past videos, these cards look great. They're great in foil. They look great in a binder, but the cards do things and people want to play the game. And I know that, the community is wanting a lot more, engagement as far as official tournaments. A lot of events are kind of being, organized and maintained by the community. And I think they would like some sort of official structure. So that's going to lead me into the buyouts portion of this. So at one point or another, the next few cards that I'm going to list, and I do have how many are listed on TCG Player as well as the current price. I did these pricings just before I started filming. So at one point, all of these cards were considered bought out, I guess. Babbling Brook, you know, it's a great site. There's 12 listed at $2.85. These are all foils. Sorcery Raiders, I probably butchered that. There's 11 listings for $1.45. Warhorse, which is a great movement card. You know, Sorcery it's a movement-based game. Movements win in a lot of games, and it helps you, you know, seal the deal, gets you across to the other side of the realm or gets you out of the way. Warhorse has charge. There's 11 listings of that for $4.98. Valley of Delight was a big one. It got bought out. And this one, I don't know if it went up. Like I said, these are all foil prices, but the last time I checked Valley of Delight and a non-foil, it was at $10. It wouldn't surprise me if it's at $12 now. But the foil one is at $70 right now. And you know, that's an elite site. It's great. You play it and you declare which of the thresholds you want it to be, and it's that for the rest of the game. So that comes in handy for your 2, 3, 4 color decks. So that's going to be a big card for a while. The tri-sites at one point got bought out. There's 7 Tentankles, and that's for $111 right now. I think that one's the most used. And the only other one that I looked up is Carlian Up and Usk, and there's only 3 listed right now at $80 a piece. And these are all the lowest listings, by the way. There might be some that, you know, there might be one that's 85. I just went for the lowest listed, and then there's also listed and then market price as well. Market price was pretty close on with most of these, but these are listed. Market price, you know, that's what people are valuing the card at, but that doesn't mean that's what it's selling for. Morgana is a huge one. Morgana is so good. It's half the cost of a Grandmaster Wizard. It draws you 3 cards. She has stealth. There's currently 2 listed at $400. I believe the last time I checked Morgana, I think that one was a $30 or $40 non-foil. The good thing about Morgana is you only need one of them in your deck. If you're going to be blinging out a deck, you know, if Morgana is your thing, grab that foil. I would say that one might come down a little bit, but that's just me just randomly thinking that. I think it's about like a $300 card, I'd say, but that's pretty steep. Ring of Morgan got bought out at one point. There's 6 right now. The lowest listed is $450, and there's only 1 listed at $450. The other ones are at $580. I think at one point that one at the highest was around $600. And I think the market value on that one is much lower than $580. And we all know the Ring of Morgan, it's pretty much busted. I've you know, done a short video on it back in the day. And I call it the true One Ring. It's so powerful. It is actually busted in Archmago and, you know, the replication decks that are going around with that. And it's just such a good card. It looks great. It looks very good in foil. If I remember off the top of my head, it's like a $60 card in non-foil, which I think is a really good deal considering how good of a card that is. I think that should probably cost more in non-foil than a Philosopher's Stone. But that, once again, that's just my opinion. I think, you know, it should be like, you know, 120, something like that. I'm not trying to manipulate the market or anything like that. Like I said, I could be wrong. And then I know a lot of players, and, you know, Sorcery hasn't banned a card yet, but if there's a card that's going to get banned, it's going to be the Ring. If they ever decide to do something like that. Which I'm going to save some of that for another video. I do have a good way of how Sorcery can handle bans, and it can kind of coincide with reprints as well. The next one is King Arthur. I don't really consider this one, you know, it's not scarce anymore right now. There's 20 listings right now at $80. I haven't seen King Arthur getting a lot of play. The big one recently is Led Astray. Once again, it's a movement-based card. There's 8 listed for $2.80, so about $3. That's a 4 of in your decks. So that's an ordinary. So people that run Led Astray in your decks, it's very good, and it's a good way to bling out your deck, and it's not an expensive card. Kettle Top Leprechaun, seeing a lot of play right now. That's kind of a sleeper card. I just got hip to the Kettle Top Leprechaun. He's very good. There's 8 listings at $3 right now. The card looks cool too. So I think that's a good one to grab right now. Most of these cards, like I said, if you want to splurge and bling out your decks on a few, most of these are drastically lower in non-foil version. Like the Tri-Sites, I think the ones that are like near the top, I think they're between 15 and $20, and you can probably, the discords and the marketplaces are a good way to save a little bit of money. Usually community members are, doing a little bit less than TCG Player, and then you're saving on taxes. Usually they can hook you up on shipping. Not saying anybody's going to do shipping for free. Like that's a big part of shipping cards, is that, that eats into your profit margin for a card as well. The last one is the only beta card, and it is currently sold out on TCG Player, and it's the foil version of Browse, and it's at $70.20. I think that's an absolute steal for Browse. It's a great card. It looks great. Looks really good in foil. Every time I see that card, I think of Kratos from God of War, though. Like that's all I can see on that card. So once Browse goes back in stock, I would say it might be above 70, might be 80, 90, who knows. So those are the buyouts, I guess you could say. They are in stock right now, like I said, with the exception to Browse. And like there's tons of non-foil versions. I think there's a good amount of Arthurian Legends floating around to where, it's Sorcery's pretty good with how they do their printing, and there's an abundance. Like you have cold foil heroes, there's other bigger sellers, and in the marketplace as well. Like I said, that there's plenty of non-foil versions of these cards to go around, so don't feel inclined to run out and grab the foils unless you like blinging out your decks. I don't think there's a lot of market manipulation with a lot of this. I could be wrong, but I don't think the community is that kind of community where they're just going to buy up hundreds of one single. Like I don't think somebody's going to run out and just grab every Kettle Top Leprechaun for the next 3 weeks and, bring a $3 card up to $5 or something like that. But like I said, I could be wrong. I think a lot of it is market speculation and deck building. I think that, players they want to play the game. They're craving tournaments and events. And if the market is low on a card that they have in their deck, Kettle Top Leprechaun, Led Astray, that are cheap right now. The foils are hard to come by in Arthurian Legends. You only get 6 in a box, and getting the one that you want is tough. And if you can just go buy the single, like there's no sense in cracking boxes to get a Led Astray or something like that. Like I said, these are all foil prices. The non-foil prices are much lower. I don't think there's a lot of I would assume there's not a bunch of, just somebody that loves Led Astray and just wants to have a binder of Led Astray or something like that. I don't think there's a lot of that. I think it's mainly a lot of, deck building, and players are just wanting to play the game. And if they have that card in their deck and it's cheap, why not get it now before it could eventually go up? So like I said, the main thing that I keep driving home is players want to play the game. The game has great gameplay. They're just buying the playable cards to bling out their decks, in my opinion. I think a lot of the term buyout, it sounds bad, but I think there might be a little bit of follow the leader kind of thing where you know, this Discord, it has, you know, the 8,000 members in it. And if somebody starts, you know, talking about a certain deck or a certain card, and, you know, a new person or maybe even a seasoned player so far didn't think of it, they're just going to run in there and, you know, go buy, you know, 4 kettle top leprechauns. So like right now, if you buy 4 of them, that's half of what's on TCG Player right now. And the other 4 go, you need 4 for a deck. I think kettle top leprechauns in ordinary. So you need 4 if you're running 4, and, you know, that's how it is. So yeah, I just thought some of the numbers were pretty interesting. I would like to see, you know, some of the Facebook groups grow a little bit more, and, you know, we only do that by more publicity. We have great content creators. I always talk about, you know, Mike from Collector Art House, what he does for the collecting, the art side of the game, his art pieces. He's always running, you know, good deals on sample packs, and, you know, those are some of the rarest cards in Sorcery. For singles, you have Cold Foil Heroes. His prices are, you know, very good. You know, they're comparative to TCG Player, and he has his own website right now as well. Yesterday, I saw that somebody was selling Arthurian Legends boxes on TCG Player for $84, and the only catch was that it had $14.99 shipping. But if you bought, you know, a case or 2 cases, you're making out like crazy on that deal. Like $84 for a box of Arthurian Legends, where you could possibly, you know, the unique foils to pull out of Arthurian Legends are very hard to hit. But if you get lucky and pull a Morgana, that's $400. If you pull one of the tri-sites, there's another 100. If you pull a ring, there's, you know, $400 to $600 depending on where you sell it at. So I just thought, you know, some of the numbers and, you know, the term buyout was, you know, it's all just kind of interesting. So yeah, that's it for the video today. If you like what you see and what I'm talking about, feel free to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. I try to, you know, interact with as many as possible. And I appreciate you guys subscribing and tuning in. Have a good one. Take care.